Quando vocês quiserem.
Estamos aqui hoje com o professor Amit Goswami. Professor, it's an honor to have you here today with us.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Be welcome to Curitiba.
I feel very welcome. This is my first time in Curitiba.
That's great. We're very honored to have Professor Goswami here in Curitiba for the first time. Professor, can you tell us a little bit more about the concept of quantum activist?
But the idea of quantum activism is very special because the quantum worldview holds that we are all connected underneath our separate self. And therefore, it doesn't really make sense to want to change the world without changing yourself, because you are the world. And so quantum physics says, why do we try to change the world, which is a natural impulse. We want our environment to be good for us. But at the same time, I can only do that if I too realize that I am also the world, and therefore I too have to transform as I try to transform the world. So how do you do this? You do this with the quantum principles, which tells me that I and the world are the same, and that physics could not be wrong. That physics which is telling me about who I am also can tell me what do I need to do in order to realize who I am.
So, would you say that anybody can be a quantum activist?
Anybody is already a quantum activist. It's just a question of engaging actively with it or becoming a passive bystander. And I suggest that time has come because there is a sort of a time ticking away with global warming and all this political, economical problem that haunts us today. I think we should be a little bit aware that time is ticking away. We better hurry a little bit, and therefore it's a bit of an urgent thing. So those who can must.
Time has come, you say, and when you said that, I think about the science as we know today, the materialistic science that we have. It played a very important role in our history. Would you say that time for science as we know is ticking as well?
Well, materialist science happened by accident. Science is science. Science should not pursue a particular ism. Science is how to go beyond belief systems or beyond dogmas. Unfortunately, scientists themselves are also human beings. Human beings have instincts, and those instincts tell us that dogma is good for selfishness or our particular interest to gain more advantage over other interests. So people in Europe at some 300, 400 years ago when science was developing, they saw that there is an advantage in using this science to dominate the rest of the world. And they did. But of course, it's not working anymore. That model of dominating others is an economic failure. Politically, it sounds fine, but it's an economic failure. Economy-wise, it just does not work. So people are more and more realizing it, that the domination has to stop. There is still a lot of domination, and Donald Trump's election in America signifies that. There are many people still who want to dominate others, but it's bound to fail. So it's a question of sooner than later. I think that the sooner we recognize it, less suffering, and quantum worldview can do it very soon. Because in quantum worldview, it becomes clear that we cannot dominate the other because that's not the way the world is. The world is that we are interconnected. The world is that the best relationship we can set up, I with you, is one of two-way street, two-way totality. Neither you dominating me nor I dominating you, but both causally affecting each other as we see fit. That's the ideal relationship. And it has to be that way, sooner or later. Hopefully, sooner.
Hopefully. One last question, Professor. many people around the world say that Brazil is developing quite fast when it comes to the new era. You come to Brazil twice a year, and you have courses here regularly. I believe it's the only country apart from the United States and India where you do it. What's your view on that?
Well, I also do it in Europe, but you are right. Brazil is a very special country. I recognized it the first time I came, which was 1996 at a conference, and it is very interesting. You know, the Europeans, in their story of domination, also came to Brazil, and somehow the countries in Latin America stopped the domination game. Today, our hope against the politics of domination is actually centering around the BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Neither of these countries ever dominate. Well, in history, I guess India did dominate a little, China did dominate a little, but domination has never been their pastime. And this is very important. We depend on these countries to lead us to develop this universal brotherhood, as the theosophists call it, and in quantum physics call it quantum non-locality. Seeing that our consciousness is that unity, that connection that we have underneath our separateness. And I think, I strongly believe that that's a really
It's great, a big responsibility for all of us. Professor Goswami, thank you very much for your time. Obrigado.